going to add and subtract rational expressions. So, in order to add and subtract rational expressions, we need to have a common denominator. So that means both of our denominators in both of our fractions are the same. In these two examples, we have common denominators, so what we do is keep our denominator and just add our numerator. So here, we would keep our common denominator as x plus 1, and we would add our numerators. So 3 plus 5 is 8. Our answer here would be 8 over x plus 1. Then in our second example, we have 6 over m plus 2 minus 5 over 2 plus n. We're going to rewrite this second denominator so that we're sure that the first and second denominator are the same. So we have m plus 2 and m plus 2 in our denominators. Since we have common denominators, we keep our denominator, m plus 2, and we add or subtract our numerator, 6 minus 5, which is 1. Making our answer 1 over m plus 2. When we don't have a common denominator, we need to find our least common denominator. So we're going to rewrite our rational expression with the same denominator. Here we have 3 over x plus 4 over x squared. Since these two denominators are not the same, we need to find our least common denominator and rewrite our fractions with the same denominator. In order to do that, we are going to follow these 6 steps. So, to get our denominators the same, we are first going to factor our denominators. Make sure both fractions have factored denominators. Step 2, we are going to make common bars, which is what we talked about today in class. We just want to make another set of fraction bars. We're going to use those fraction bars to then make our least common denominator. So in step 3 and 4, we are finding out what our least common denominator is by taking our factors in our first fraction and putting them in our common bars. Then we have to take the second denominator's factors and check to see if they are already in the common bars. If they are not in the common bars already, then you need to put them in the common bars. If they are there, then you do not have to rewrite it. That's why it will be our least common denominator for steps 3 and 4. Then we need to fix the numerators. Since we're now adding things on our denominators, we cannot just leave the numerators alone. We need to make them equivalent fractions to what we started with. So here we have to fix the numerators to make equivalent fractions. And step 6 is to add or subtract our numerators. When we add or subtract our numerators, we keep the same denominator. I understand this sounds confusing, but once we go through a few of our problems, I'm sure you guys will get it. So, the example we're going to do right now is 6 divided by x plus 1 plus 4 over x squared plus 4x plus 3. So our first step was to factor our denominators. Since x plus 1 cannot be factored, I am going to put parentheses because I know that x plus 1 will be one factor. Now I have a trinomial in my second fraction, x squared plus 4x plus 3. I need to factor this. I'm going to use triangle, and I get what multiplies to 3 and adds to 4, 3 and 1. So my two factors are x plus 3 times x plus 1. So I'm going to make common bars. These blue fraction bars are my common bars. It said I need to copy my first denominator's factors. So my first denominator factor is x plus 1. I am writing x plus 1. Then I need to check my second. So the first factor is x plus 3. Since there is not an x plus 3 in my common bars, I am going to write x plus 3. And I need to check my second factor, x plus 1. I check my common bars. There is already an x plus 1 in the common denominator, so I do not need to rewrite this. And my common denominator for this problem is x plus 1 times x plus 3. Now that I have my common denominator, I want to make these fractions equivalent to the ones that we first started with. So you're going to compare the first fraction with the original first fraction. What is now in my common bars that was not in my original? Well, it's doing silly things. What is in my common bars that was not in my original denominator? This x plus 3. So I need to multiply the numerator. Need to multiply the numerator by x plus 3. So I get 6x times x plus 3. Then do the same thing for my second fraction. Compare my second denominator to my original fraction. I have not added anything new to my second fraction, so I'm not going to put anything else in my numerator. And we are going to simplify. So I get 6x times x plus 3 plus 4 over x plus 1 times x plus 3. And the last step is just finish making that numerator simplified. I'm going to distribute the 6x to my parentheses to get 6x squared plus 18x plus 4 divided by x plus 1 times x plus 3. So that is how we add and subtract rational expressions. See you later.